Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about benefits of higher education. It's very common that you've heard your parents saying you're not going out until you do your homework. Parents have always known that education is the key to a happy and successful life. And education is more than going to a college or university to receive a degree. It has a very important role in our lives. Once you graduate high school, college should be your next step if you are willing to spend another 4 or 5 years of education. College not only equips you mentally, it allows you to learn from your mistakes and come out to be a better individual. It's extremely important to get a good education, but it's just important to discover yourself and your tendencies. The role of higher education is to increase our knowledge to absorb what is around us. Without education, we would look like a soldier without a weapon, and we will trust everything we heard because we wouldn't know any better. As I said at the beginning, higher education helps you to be a better individual. Let me tell you this story. Frederick Douglass was a young slave who had been told his whole life that it was God's desire for him to be a slave. However, as he started learning to read and write, he realized that he might be something in the world other than be someone's slave. It was education that allowed Douglass to escape from slavery to achieve his goals and become a very influential figure in our history. He went from being a slave to be the advisor of President Abraham Lincoln. Education begins with being able to read and write, but it's higher education that polishes off an individual and prepares them for life. There is a quote by Nelson Mandela stating that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. This quote strongly relates to what happened to some of my family members who didn't receive higher education once they graduate. Looking back as a child, I've witnessed them being taken advantage of due to the lack of education and knowledge of the situation they were in. Since that, I promised myself I'm not gonna be put in the same situation. By advancing yourself and obtaining higher education, it allows you to discover everything around you and not be ignorant and get manipulated by wrongdoers of this world. Let me explain how higher education prepares you mentally. Higher education prepares you to move out on your own and become an individual for the first time in your life. For example, living at home with your parents, you always have them pushing you to success and guiding you in taking your tough decisions. Once you move out, it's all in you to drive yourself and make your smart decisions. When you face the real world, there isn't going to be people there pushing you. So if you decide to slack off, you will have to deal with the consequences. Higher education forces you to grow and make decisions on your own. And you will spend the rest of your life and you will spend it doing. Finally, it's obvious that higher education is important in a variety of ways. It teaches you to be smarter and push yourself when no one else does. Most importantly, it teaches you to become an individual who doesn't have to rely on their parents on everything. Higher education isn't mandatory if you're planning to live a happy and successful life. It simply prepares you for the workplace and allows you to learn from your mistakes before you are out in the real world. Although, with a record number of students attending college, it's becoming harder every day to being a successful working life without a college degree. As for what the future holds, we will have to wait and see.